Just when you thought I could not do another Gravekeeper deck profile, here it is. Hey yo, Alex, hit him with that for me, bruh.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
What was that?
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I don't think they heard you,
bell,
bro.
man. Hit the bell.
I don't think they heard you, bro.
Don't forget.
Like and subscribe, man. I better do that. That's how you get more content. Hit the bell.
And the bell.
Ring the bell.
Bell.
Ring the bell.
Bell.
Click it.
He's short, so I don't know his word.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jakari from Twisted Nightmare Gaming again, and I'm back at you with another deck profile. As you see, it is a Gravekeeper deck profile. Y'all know this is one of my babies. I've done about 85 million different builds of this deck. I decided to take it a little bit back to its roots and make it as pure as humanly possible. So, at most in the main deck, you may see one hand trap. In fact, you will. And it ain't Ash. But let's get started. And just for the sake of spoilers, this deck is the main deck is incredibly budget. I think the most expensive main deck card in here, because it has other rarities, may actually be the that's a lie. It would actually be like the spiritualist and some of the other stuff. So one chief, it's become about a standard at this point. Two commandant. I put it up to two headmen just to retest it out. To be honest with you, I don't particularly like two headmen. Never really liked two headmen. The worst feeling in the world is opening two headmen with not a damn Gravekeeper in your graveyard and no way to get this bastard in your grave. So you know, I'm a proponent of I'm a child of the chaos. I love the beat down. So, you know, I run two heretics. I also run two oracle because the highest attack build of this without using super poly or magicalized fusion is the spiritualist, using spiritualist to use this and that to go into supernat. I mean, you could do it with two of these, and then that's actually the highest attack version of supernat. That or this and the visionary, because I believe it's the same level. But I don't run visionary, so you know, it is that. Both my fans are on. I do apologize. It is hot as hell in here. So 3 recruiter, 1 shaman, 2 spiritualists. And I know it seems like it's a questionable call to only be running 2 spiritualists, but with so many ways of getting into spiritualists, be it, you know, headman, rider spirit, chief, recruiter to hand, it's not hell, spy. This is the last, second to last monster in the deck, and like I said, I am running 1 hand trap. It happens to be a spellcaster, so I'm running the 2 Veiler. If I had 3 to spare, I'd run 3, but I'm only running 2, so you know, it is what it is. Right now, this deck is honestly sitting at 47, which seems to be like a crime against humanity with this deck, but for me, it tends to work a lot more often than not. Triple neck, I'd put it back up to 3 from 2. 1 hit in temples, which in all actuality should be that, but I wanted to put that before those, so and then the last spell is 3 Necro Valley Throne. So like I said, you really only need, truthfully, if you wanted to cut it down to 1 and press your luck, you could cut Spiritualist down to 1. But you kind of want to see Spiritualist sooner rather than later. For the traps, I have them split up between, I have the spells traps split up between the Gravekeeper spells and traps, which is why you saw the Gravekeeper spells right after this, and then the Gravekeeper related traps, and then these other spells and traps in the deck, in the main. So 1 Imperial Tombs, 2 Temples, you could get away with 1, and 2 Rider Spirit. If I know what my third is, actually. I probably would go back up to 3 if I really felt that it was needed to go to 3. I only really ever want to see this once. You'll see why in a minute. So 1 Foolish. Trying to make sure it's on shot here. There we go. 2 Magical Eyes. I cut it from 3 because I've opened with 2 of them and no reason to have it. 1 Magical Dimension for just an added push if I need it. The Solo Regeki, yeah, I'm back on the 1. I took 2 out because I don't want to open a hand with triple Regeki for no apparent reason but to have triple Regeki. I know there's better spells, but I only have 1 to the Lightning Storm, and it's in a deck that I, honest to God, though I play this deck a lot, I do have 3 other decks that I am playing a lot more often right now, and they're all zombie based. So, go figure. And 2 Super Poly. I'm not going up to 3 Super Polys because I kind of wanted to balance between the Super Polys and the Magical Eyes. And in all truth, I wasn't actually wanting Super Poly in here until I did some stuff with the build a few minutes ago, and I made some changes to the extra deck, so you'll see those in a minute. One of my throwbacks, one of my favorites, to Dark Bribe. The only Dogmatica card in the main deck. I mean, I run a lot of big bastards and a lot of stuff that generates advantage when it hits my grave, so 3 Punishment. But you won't see anything like Titaniclad, you won't see Intis. Those are in other decks. And then the reason why I'm only running 1 Imperial Tombs is because I'm running triple Judgment. Now you could switch the Judgments out for 2 strikes, 3 strikes, 2 strikes and a Judgment. You can actually switch one of the Judgments for another Tombs, but because Judgment's not once per turn, Strike's not once per turn, if you want to switch it out for Spell and Trap removal, go for it. But for things that'll lock me out of doing stuff like anti-spell fragrance, well, I got a Judgment for that. If I have a Gravekeeper and a Necro Valley, I got a Tombs for that. I also have the Dark Bribes for that. So that's it for the main. Like I said, it's 47. Realistically, what I would take out if I dropped it to 40, which would actually change parts of the extra deck just a little bit, I would take out 1 Headman, leave the Oracles. I drop Recruiter to 2. I dropped 1 Punishment. That's what, 3? Right now, like I said, really late at night, early in the morning, depending on where you're at. I tend to shoot my deck profiles really late for me, so brain's kind of foggy. But yeah, the Headman, the One Punishment. I'd have to go back here. Oh, I'll tell you real quick. One Headman to drop it down to 1, because again, I don't like seeing it. Drop 1 recruiter to go down to 2. And then, truth be told, I could give a damn about the Veilers, but because they're spellcasters and they have the added synergy of being spellcasters, and if I have Chief on field or I don't have Necro Valley on field, it makes the Magicalized Fusion live to go into to 8 and to go into things like something you guys know that I play very often in my extra deck, in my Gravekeeper extra deck, hell, in my Dogmatica extra deck. Let's go ahead and get that started. So, a 3 Super Nat. I wish it was a higher rarity. Still pisses me off that it's not a higher rarity. Hell, I wish Spiritualist was a damn higher rarity. It's a damn shame. I'd take a gold letter rare for Spiritualist and a Super for Super Nat, and I'd be happy. But beggars can't be choosers. 3 quintets. It's one of the main reasons why the Magicalizers are in there. It's one of the main reasons why the Veilers are in there. And then one of the biggest changes to this deck was I added 2 Garuda Rings of Resident Life. For something that's low attack, it's a punishment target, which allows me to draw a card when it hits my grave. It's also a super poly target. I also have some super poly. I have some worthy changes if you want to get rid of one of the quintets. But remember, the quintet is also your highest attack Dogmatica punishment target. So, take it where you can. You can run Drago Stapella, you can run Starving Venom, you can run Triff Overton, because hell, besides 2 monsters in this deck, everything's dark. So, because you're running the Super Polys, everything's dark. Except for Veiler and Commandant, Earth and Light. Which is funny because this is also live in this deck too, because everything besides Veiler and Commandant are same type and attribute, but different names. So again, super poly target. If I was running instant fusion target. I mean, that's primary focus for that card. So the rest of the extra deck is all Link monsters. So 1 Artemis, 1 Blackluster Soldier of Chaos, 1 Boar Sword Dragon, 1 Dark, and I'll explain why the Dark is in here in a minute. The IP, which is kind of self-explanatory, 1 Almirage, and the 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice. Alright, so a little bit of explanation of why the Dark is in here. There's 2 reasons. If I have Chief on field, I'll make sure I'm not being stupid. Oh, it's my opponent's graveyard. Never mind. If I don't have Necro Valley on field, it allows me to get a free special out of their grave. Other than that, the fact is it's a free spellcaster. So it ends up becoming a Magicalized Fusion target. Truth be told, if I took that out, the Dark would probably get switched to switched back to another Wee Witch's Apprentice. So the Armorage is because without Necro Valley, actually even with Necro Valley, my weakest monster in the main deck besides Valor is Headman. So if I normal Headman, special one from the grave, I can then link off the Headman for this or the Artemis. Those are the main reasons why they're in there, because those are the only two monsters in my main deck under 1,000 attack that I can normal summon. So you already know why the Wee Witch is in there. Wee Witch has been in every Gravekeeper deck profile, no matter which variant of this deck. And I don't think I'm ever taking it out because it's also a spellcaster. So, worst comes to worst, it can always be fodder for the machine that is the Quintet Magician. I've already done God knows how many combo tutorials with this deck. The main thing you really want to see, and the most optimal hand, I'll be 100% honest with you, is if you can bait some negates if you're going second, because let's be real, Gravekeepers is a perennial go first deck unless you open stuff to bait a bunch of damn negates. So your most optimal hand is something to get you into that, this, where's that big burly bastard? That big bastard there. And I'm just being honest. He in there. The main reason why this damn thing is in here is because once everything is said and done, you end up having a 3,900 attack Super Nat. Without doing Magicalized Fusion, without doing Super Poly, that is the highest base attack you can get this thing on the field. So that is the most optimal combination of two monsters for it. So, and yes, technically, you could Super Poly two of those together, get the same attack, but the hell would you do that for? That sounds absolutely asinine. Now, with that on the field, if you Super Poly those two, Sweet Merciful God, that is a 4,200 attack Super Nat. So, because this can be used as fusion material for another one. And I have gone into this by using one of these. It is the funniest thing in the world. I have nuked boards doing it. I have made a few people mad at me for it. I have made people scoop in one rounds in tournaments, stolen rounds in tournaments because of it. But you know, like I said, when it comes to Gravekeepers, it's one of my favorite decks of all time. It's one of the first decks I ever played competitively. I don't think I'll ever stop playing different variants of this and trying to make it as competitive as possible. But let's be real. It's rogue to it's casual to rogue at best in the pure form, not running a metric fuck ton of hand traps. It's not. It's casual to rogue. I know that. Most of the Gravekeeper players I know that. And I choose to play it as such because I just like messing with people. Y'all know that. I play this game and have as much fun as possible. Fun for me doesn't necessarily mean fun for you. And truthfully, I don't really care if you having fun if I'm playing Gravekeepers. But that's it for the profile, folks. Let me know what you think. I will be doing a RTT build sooner rather than later. And let's be real, the RTT build, if I had actually, the RTT build will come out after the 10th because I need Prosby for that build. I need to dig as far as possible into the deck without really doing a lot of drawing. So RTT build coming sooner rather than later. But this has been your boy Jakari, Twisted Nightmare Gaming, signing off. I'll catch y'all on the next one.